Good. Hey, could I get 2 ribeyes, please?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a steak delicious kind of day, my friend.
All right, so I just picked up some steaks. Now, I don't usually buy steak because it's a little out of my price range. You know, I like to be a little more frugal, but sometimes it's worth it, and they're so fast to make and so delicious. And it all starts with good meat. You got to pick up some good-ass steaks. Otherwise, personally, I would not really bother. Let me show you how I like to cook these up in the wintertime when I cannot get outside to the barbecue. You are probably never going to go to a steakhouse again because they're going to charge 3 or 4 times as much as what you would pay for a good quality steak, and you're probably going to be able to do it better. Step 1 is getting the best quality meat that you can. I don't make steak a lot because it's pretty expensive, but when I do, I go buck wild and I get the best steak that I can. So go to a fancy butcher because their sourcing of the meat, the way they cut the steaks and the way they age the steaks is going to be better, and ultimately this is all about making that steak the star of the show. So you got to get some talent in there. You got to get a good steak to begin with. Personally, I like ribeyes. I think they're just the most juicy, best steak that you can get. So we have our steak. We want to take it out of the fridge for at least 20 minutes before we're going to cook it so that it can warm up a little bit. Otherwise, when we sear it, the outside is going to kind of overcook. The inside is still going to be too cold, and it's not going to be that perfect steak magic that we want. We want to go heavy on the seasoning. Do not skimp out. You're going to think that you're doing too much, but you're not. Cover that whole mafa in black pepper, okay? Go big. And then we're gonna go with sea salt, again, on both sides. And I don't use a lot of salt in most of my cooking, but it's pretty hard to over salt this steak. So go a little more versus a little bit less. Now that the pan is smoking hot, add a little bit of butter and then put your steak right in. It's gonna sear and it's gonna be music to your ears. It should sound like this. If it didn't make that sound, the pan was not hot enough and you messed up. Sorry. We're gonna leave that side down for about 2 to 3 minutes at a high heat. The goal is to get a beautiful crust and sear that outside of the steak with all that pepper and salt. It's gonna be incredible. Now, you're gonna be tempted to flip it over and check, you know, to make sure that it's not burning or that how it's going. Resist that urge if you can and just leave it and let it do its thing. 2 to 3 minutes, you're gonna be good to go. Now, then you're gonna flip the steak over and we're gonna put it in the oven straight away. It's gonna sit in the oven for 3 minutes approximately. Steak's out of the oven. We're gonna take the steak, put it on a plate, and let it rest for 5 minutes to let the juices kind of reabsorb into the meat. In the meantime, you're gonna add some butter, some garlic, and some rosemary. You could also use thyme if you want, into the pan, and we're gonna make a little bit of a sauce. This is gonna be on medium heat, and we're just infusing that butter with the fragrance of the garlic and the herbs, and all the extra little juice that's still inside the pan from the steak and the seasoning. Cook that until the garlic starts to brown, then discard the garlic, pour that sauce over your steaks, and you are ready to go to steak heaven. If this seems like the kind of food you would like to eat, go ahead and download my free recipe book. It's called Eat Like a Boss, and it has all of my personal favorite recipes that I use day in and day out, week in and week out, to make eating healthy, convenient, easy, and taste really, really good. Okay, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get some great ideas from my book, and I'll see you on the next video.